everybody, and welcome back to another episode. We are the Road to Glory podcast. I'm Juliette.
And I'm Cecilia, and in today's episode, what we will be talking about is basically Imola predictions for F2 and F3, because when you're watching this, hopefully, if you're watching when it comes out, there'll only be a couple of days until F2 and F3 are back on track in Imola.
Yeah, Feeder series is so hard to predict, but we wanted to just throw our 2 cents out there, just see if we can get anything right, because we've done prediction videos in the past, but that has been for like the championship, which we will 100% go back and look at them in the end. But it'll be nice to see if we can get anything right with Imola predictions for F2 and F3.
Yeah, because as we have mentioned multiple times, feeder series, and especially F2 and F3, can be very chaotic and very much depending on luck as well. So who knows what will happen, honestly.
Yes, but before we get in there, we had some breaking news yesterday, as of time of recording, that we have James Headley driving for AIX in Formula 3, replacing Javier Segura.
Yeah, I couldn't pronounce that better than you, so
Yeah.
that sounds right.
Which is just like, what are AIX doing?
Yeah, I feel like this is an ongoing series on our podcast. It's like, what is going on in the house of AIX? Like, it's a never-ending saga,
Honestly,
basically.
I could not place bets on what they're gonna do next because they're so left field and random, and you literally cannot predict anything that's gonna happen with them specifically.
No. Yeah, and not only are they replacing a driver already, obviously we also have like the third seat that they haven't really committed to any specific driver, but now apparently they have announced for the rest of the season it will be Brad Benavides taking over that third AIX seat, so which will be very interesting as well.
New person.
Yeah, just stick in a new driver, let's see what happens. Like, again, with a driver that has done like no testing or anything.
This poor man, he should be thrown in.
Exactly, because obviously, for those who are not completely caught up with AIX this season, in the first round in Australia, they had Nikita Bedrin driving for them without doing preseason testing, by the way, just randomly putting him in there. But he is driving in Freca this season, so he couldn't commit to the full season, or they didn't want him for the full season. We don't honestly know, no information really on it. But then for the second round in Bahrain, they put in Freddie Slater, who's also doing Freca, so also could only commit to one race weekend.
Oh, and now they have the new dude. Like, I would actually, how many people are they having in their F3 seats? Because there's 3 at. They've had 6 people in their seats so far. Like, I'm
crazy.
to tally it up at the end of the season, at the end of F3, and be like, how many drivers did AIX go through?
Yeah, exactly. Like, can we hope that we just stick with these drivers we have now? But like, that's not even a given. With already 2 rounds in, and we are already replacing Javier Segura. Like, how does that even happen?
That was like shocking to me. I saw it and I was like, because it just was so out of the blue.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. Obviously, with F3, we do often see that some teams do replace their drivers throughout the season. Can be for funding issues often, but obviously, I at least haven't been able to find anything on like actually why we have this replacement so early in the season.
Yeah, it feels. Usually, it comes later on in the season where people start to drop out, because obviously their funding runs out. This is quite early, but that's our little bit of breaking news in the feeder series world.
Yeah, and also like just to finish that segment off, it is an interesting choice with Brad Benavides, because he is a good driver because he did win the Open, what is it called? Euro Formula Open Championship last year, which is like a Formula 3 series in Spain, or based in Spain. But not only that, the man has driven in F2 and F3 previously. Like now he's back to F3. How does that even happen?
I mean, he was probably got the opportunity and he's like, I'm going to take it. But it's
Yeah.
very random.
It's very unconventional to go to like F3 up to F2, back to like a open Euro Formula
And then,
series something, and then F3 again.
well, it'll be interesting to see what he can do in that car. Hopefully,
Yeah.
he will stay in that seat.
Yeah. Hopefully. At least he has been announced for the rest of the season,
Yeah.
which none of the other drivers in that seat has been in the past. So
Exactly. He's got a little bit
yeah.
more longevity.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how he will get on in Imola, and maybe he will be part of our predictions as well. Who knows? So
Yeah, who knows?
yeah, but I guess we should just jump into it. I feel like we should cover F3 first, and then
Yes.
we'll move on to F2. So the predictions we have planned is first off, of course, who will take pole position?
Okay, do you want me to go?
Yeah, I want to throw you under the bus first. Oh, but I feel like we are picking the same person though, so maybe that's bad for me.
Wait, I'm really
Yeah.
excited to see. I am predicting Rafa Kamara for pole.
Yeah, I know I should have gone first because I'm not gonna say I was kind of gonna pick Rafael Camara, but now I'm thinking about changing it so we're not the same. But honestly, with Rafael Camara, I feel like everything that we have to go off is pointing in his direction because he is absolutely dominating this season so far. Obviously, we are only 2 rounds in, but he has taken pole positions in the first 2 rounds. He has won both feature races in the first 2 rounds. And I also did some research on Rafa Camara before recording this, and I looked how did the drivers do in Freca last year in Imola, and he took double pole position in Freca
So
last
it's a
year in
track that
Imola.
he knows and is comfortable
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, and literally took pole there in that series last year. So, yeah,
I
he's a
think
good prediction.
agreed. Also, it's a Trident home race because Trident are Italian.
Yeah.
I don't know where exactly they are based, but like it's back in Italy. So I feel like there's even more fire there. So that was why I decided to go with.
Yeah, I also feel like Trident and, yeah, as you say, an Italian team, they deserve to do really well here in Imola. And also, again, drawing on previous races in F3 last year, I do believe they actually locked out the top 3 with the drivers in qualifying. So clearly, it's a team that knows its way around Imola.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's actually why I will change my prediction.
Okay.
So just so we have different prediction here, I will change it into Noah Stromsdal, who is obviously also a Trident driver. So why not pick him?
Exactly, and he's been doing really well as well. So it makes logical sense.
Yeah, for sure. I can see it happening. Obviously, he has been in the top 10 at least in the 2 qualifyings we've had so far, and he did qualify in second the first race in Australia. So who knows? Maybe he can like get that extra bit out of the car and take his first pole. Who knows?
Who knows?
With sprint, obviously, it's so difficult to say what on earth is gonna happen because predicting who is gonna take pole is one thing, but like predicting randomly who is gonna, obviously, if we say like reverse grid pole or like who is gonna qualify 12th, like, that would literally be impossible. So yeah, obviously, since it like is absolutely impossible to guess because like who can say that who like qualifies 13th in starting 13 boat races, but if you're qualifying 12, you're literally on sprint pole. Like this.
Exactly.
No way to predict that. So instead, we've come up with a funny little segment. Hopefully, you think it's funny too, because we think so. But which will be spin the wheel decides who gets sprint pole, like reverse grid pole.
Yes.
And hopefully my screen recording will work because I have a whole list with all the F3 drivers ready here on a wheel to like have it choose who takes reverse grid pole.
I'm excited
So-
to see what the universe is thinking.
Yeah, I am as well, because it can be anything. And obviously with F3, whatever it chooses, it could be right.
Yeah,
Like,
it really could be.
honestly, like pretty much everyone has a chance, I feel like.
I agree.
And I hope I did remember everyone and spelled everyone's name correctly, because I did put in every name manually, so
I'm
fingers
sure it's
crossed for that.
okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm recording my screen. So I'll click to spin the wheel and the universe decides who it thinks will
Drum
get
roll.
reverse grid pull. Drum roll, please. I'm spinning the wheel. It's spinning. And it lands on... Oh my god. It landed on Ugo Chukwu for Prema,
wow.
which would be... Honestly, that's a good shout from the universe.
Honestly, that could be.
Yeah. It really could. Like, that's a
Oh,
pretty good prediction, to be fair. Like, I would
that
love to
is.
see Ugo take his first, like, any form of pole and on Prema's home soil.
You're gonna hate my predictions later.
Oh no. Okay.
Anyways, but it definitely
Yeah.
could happen. Definitely could happen.
Just put that out there. It could happen.
Yeah.
I'll keep him on the wheel because
Yes.
next prediction will be who actually wins the sprint race.
What is the universe thinking now?
Yeah, so obviously everything can happen in a sprint race, and
Yeah.
not often is the race won from pole anyway in the feeder series.
No.
But I'll spin the wheel. Okay, drum roll please. And the sprint winner is... Okay, what are the odds right now? The sprint winner is Ugo. Going right from pole to the victory. Let's go, Ugo.
Honestly, we could be right though.
We could be. Like, this is not a bad, like,
This is a good
prediction from the
shout.
universe. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It really is a good shout. I would
I'm
love to
really
see this.
interested to see if it actually happens.
Yeah, because honestly, we have talked a lot about Ugo and like having really big expectations for him, like the rest of the world, pretty much. And like Prema and him have underperformed so far this year, so it would be very nice to see if they can like bounce back on a home track that they
Yeah.
know very well.
Exactly.
I would love to see this, honestly.
Yeah.
So,
Moving on to something we can predict a little bit more.
yeah.
I'm gonna say my feature race win, and like,
Mm.
it just seems so I go for basic answers. I tend to.
That's fine. Honestly, you have better chances at actually predicting it right than I feel like.
Well, I went for Rafa Kamara for the feature race win because I just thought track record, as we know,
Yeah.
you know, he's likely to. So that's who I went for.
Yeah, I was looking at who I was thinking was gonna win. And I just feel like I want to say Rafa, but I also feel like having the first 3 rounds of the championship all being won the feature race by Rafa would be absolutely insane.
It would be so much dominance.
It really would be. And I do want to see it happen because I do like Rafa and I want to see him do well.
Yeah.
Actually, I did put down in my prediction because I didn't want to predict the same for feature race win as for pole because I have a feeling there'll be some mess. It will be messy, the race, and the pole sitter maybe won't win the race. But actually, with who I wrote down, the pole sitter will win the race because I put down Noah still. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah,
well,
so
you have more of a chance that if he gets pole or win, one of them
True.
will be right.
One of them will maybe be right, or we will be completely wrong, and like
Neither.
somebody we haven't even mentioned will go on to win it. But yeah, it would be really cool if we could get the Danish national anthem this weekend. I hope so for Noah and me.
It could also be very, very messy. So, how many drivers do you think will DNF?
Yeah, that's the next prediction. How many will DNF? And I've done some research.
Oh,
and yeah, looked into how many people usually DNF at Imola, because let's just make the obvious clear, it's an old school track. So there are gravel traps pretty much everywhere you can get stuck into.
100%.
So the likelihood of DNFs is pretty
Pretty
big,
high.
I would say. Yeah. But actually, I was surprised by last year that they raced there, covering both sprint race and feature race, because we can't really predict like how many are gonna DNF in
Yeah.
sprint, how many are gonna DNF in feature. So just overall of the weekend, how many people will DNF? Last year, it was actually only 4 drivers, as far as I could tell,
Oh
across
wow.
both races. Yeah. So that's pretty low. But then obviously we can't really use 2023 for anything because everything was just cancelled because of the horrible, horrible rain and
Exactly.
um yeah. But going back to 2022 then, there was 10 DNFs across the weekend. So that sounds more likely of an
Yeah.
F3 weekend
I
at a
agree.
track like Imola.
Yeah.
So what I have predicted is I wanted to go somewhere in the middle, and I'm gonna predict there will be 6 DNFs throughout the weekend.
Okay. I had written down 5, so we're kind of in a
Yeah,
similar zone here.
yeah. And then maybe we'll have the cleanest of races and nobody will DNF, or like half the
I,
grid will
I
DNF, who
doubt
even knows?
that.
Yeah,
Someone always has to.
yeah, it also very much depends on what the weather will decide to do,
Yeah.
because obviously, as of recording, it is Sunday right now, so it's still very uncertain with the weather forecast, but I have seen there's slight chance of rain during some of the days.
Are we
So
gonna get rain at like every race?
I feel like climate change and stuff is just like rain every single
Rain,
weekend.
rain, rain. Even when you
Yeah.
don't expect it, rain.
No, even in Miami, there is rain. So
No,
in
literally.
Imola, it
Yeah.
will, yeah, I hope we'll actually get a dry weekend, but who knows? At least if it's raining, please let it be so little rain that they can still race, because I can't
Exactly.
deal with more cancellations.
No, I can't.
No. And then I wanted to have like a final prediction thing for F3. And that is there any like crazy prediction out of left field things we want to predict? Oh no. What?
I was like, the Prema curse is going to
Mm,
live on. And I said,
no.
I went really left field because I
Yeah.
was like, I said Prema will score no points.
Oh my god. No. That's horrible. Also like with the universe is against you because
Yeah, the
universe
universe
says Ugo.
does
Yeah.
not believe in me. But
No.
I wanted to throw something really wild out there. And
Yeah.
Prema has not had the best of seasons so far.
No.
So I just went, no points.
That's true. Honestly, that makes me really sad. Like
I'm so
Imola,
sorry.
Prema's home race, but at the same time, I do get prediction because
Yeah.
like last time out, they didn't score any points. So,
You know,
oh
it's
well,
not like baseless.
yeah. So it could happen. Oh well,
What
I
did you
guess.
do?
Yeah. What did I say? What I said. I feel like that's a pretty crazy prediction as well. Very out of left field, and that
Yeah.
is both of the new coming AIX drivers will be in the points.
Wow.
Yeah,
Very much likely could happen.
yeah, it could honestly, because I felt like it did classify as crazy enough because we have seen AIX apparently mostly only getting points with like the newcomers. So actually, maybe this might happen. Um,
Exactly.
Yeah, but still, they are definitely not like a front running team in F3 yet, so who
It's
knows?
very left field.
Yeah.
I hope you're right more than I am.
Yeah, honestly, I hope that you're wrong. I very
I hope
much
so
hope so.
too. So like it's a win-win.
Yeah, it is. Also, like with Prema, they have only scored a couple of points this year, so it
Yeah.
would be nice if they could get higher up there this weekend, but who knows?
Exactly. And I think we can probably move on to F2 because we
Yeah.
also have F2 this weekend.
Mm,
This weekend coming up.
yeah.
But for pole prediction in F2, I went with Luke Browning.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, he's my championship contender, so I really wanted to get
Yeah.
pole.
Yeah, you were just like, I need my prediction to come in here. Like, he has to
I'm
score some points for
solidifying
me.
it. Like I'm backing it up.
Yeah, that's fair. That's good. I I could see it happen. At the same time, I'm thinking back to like last year where he did F3 in Imola, and like he didn't have the best of times. I think he did DNF in one of the races, but obviously that's another thing from qualifying. He could still take pole. I'm not saying that
Exactly.
couldn't happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully he will have some better luck in Imola this year than he did
I
in
really hope
F3
so.
last year. Yeah, and for my prediction, okay, it just hit me that we both went for our predictions because my prediction was Gabriella Mini too, and like that didn't even click for me that it was my actual like championship prediction. But yeah, like
Up, huh?
yeah, I actually am like oh god. In my head, I was just thinking. I actually did not. Honestly, I did not think about the prediction for the championship, but
Yeah.
my way of thinking was we are in Italy. Gabriele Mini is Italian, driving for an Italian team. Like everybody wants to see that happen, like him taking pole here
Definitely.
this weekend. And I also feel like it could happen because obviously Prima and F2 is still like a thing. I feel like
Yeah.
it can
Same.
go very much both ways. Because in Australia, before getting a grid drop, Mini did take pole position, so I don't feel like it's too out there. But at
No,
the
there is
same,
pace in that car and there's
there's
pace in
pace.
him, but
Yeah,
it's just lining everything up.
yeah, because at the same time, in the previous two rounds, things haven't been as great for Prema, but
No.
I'm backing Mini. I really hope he can take pole position. And should we move on to who will then take sprint reverse grid pole position?
And we're back to the wheel. What does the
We're
universe
back.
think?
Yeah, to spin the wheel. Who does the universe think will take reverse grid pole position? And obviously in F2, that means who will qualify 10th.
Yes.
So let's see. Drum roll. Okay, so who will take reverse grid pole and start from pole in the sprint race? No, this is too funny. This is so on brand for us. The universe says John Bennett. What are the odds? Honestly. Oh god. I was not expecting that. Okay.
The funniest thing is, in my notes that I wrote
Mm,
down for like if we wanted to do biggest surprise, I was
yeah.
saying John Bennett and VAR are gonna be
Oh
biggest
god.
surprise. Literally have it written there.
That's crazy. Like the universe and you actually aligning on this prediction very much not
Yeah.
in F3, but like here. Okay. That is interesting. Like it could happen.
It is. Yeah.
It's not out of the realms of possibility.
No, it's definitely a shout. Like it's
Yeah.
not what we would have gone for. But who knows
Yeah.
what will
This
happen.
could this could be John Bennett's moment to shine.
And I will be cheering if it happens.
Yeah. Same. We do want John Bennett to do well. So, oh my god, I have something in my eye now. It's like I'm crying up to joy. No, just have something in my eye. Okay, I think I'm good now. Okay, but obviously, who is starting from pole in the sprint race is one thing. Who will actually win the sprint race is a whole other thing. Yeah, so I'll get my screen ready to record again, and hopefully, like, still, I do want to see John Bennett
Yeah.
win, but hopefully, just won't pick the same driver again because
Yeah, because that seems rigged.
yeah, it would seem
No.
so rigged. It really would. Okay, so drum roll please. Who will win the sprint race in Imola? And it is spinning. And the sprint winner will be, according to the wheel, okay, it will. Oh, it's still. It will be Leonardo Fornaroli, which is like a great shout from the universe.
That's a great shout.
It really is. Like an Italian win will get the Italian national anthem. That would be great.
Exactly, that'll be really, really good. That's a shout and a half because he has been really up there. And I mean, he's like fighting for the championship at the moment. So
exactly. Actually, I have him as part of my prediction later, but we'll come to that. So that's interesting. It was very close to picking Roman Stanek though. Like it was white between the two, so that was like
so it has faith in Invicta. Like
yeah. It very much does so. That's interesting. Okay, that could happen. Honestly, I was thinking this whole spin the wheel would be very, very random, but
I
I feel
know,
like
but
it's not too bad.
it just goes to show how close the championship is, actually, because kind of
True.
pretty much if it picks kind of anyone, they're probably within a shout.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be interesting to see if that comes through because the wheel and the universe knows as much as we do because who can even predict stuff like that,
No,
honestly?
literally.
It is literally impossible. But actually, moving on then to
Yeah.
who we think will win the feature race, and I want you to go first.
Okay. I don't. I okay. I just. I. I went with Alex Dunn. That was my shout.
Okay,
I
interesting.
wanted to be different for this one. I didn't want to go
Yeah,
pole. I mean, I would love
that
Luke to win.
obviously.
But Alex Dunn has been very feisty lately, so I thought,
Yeah,
even if he doesn't qualify pole, he might fight his way through the field and still end up winning.
yeah, that could very much happen. Also because Imola is a track that in some categories is difficult to overtake at, but I feel like it's not too bad, honestly, in F2 and F3,
No.
because with the DRS being pretty powerful down towards turn one, and yeah, it a lot of things could happen during the
Yeah, so
race.
who did you predict?
Okay, so my prediction is why I very much enjoy the spin the wheel for this because I am actually predicting Leonardo Fornaroli for the feature race win. So like maybe he'll
Back
get a
to
double
back.
win. Who knows? Yeah.
Oh, that would be incredible to see.
Yeah.
And I mean, the universe clearly might know something, and so might you.
Who knows? Or we again could be completely wrong, and we
Yeah.
will laugh about this after the weekend in our review and reactions to the weekend. Remember to check that out also after the weekend, please. But yeah, honestly, but Fornaroli, my thinking behind this is because again, I actually did do some research here, and Fornaroli last year in F3 had a very good feature race, and he could have won it, but unfortunately, again, with bad luck playing in, he did have his engine cut out during the race, so he lost a couple of positions they had to regain. He did recover to the podium, but not the win, because obviously, famously, he won the championship without a single win. And I just want
You want that win?
Fornaroli to get a win, please. Like, let him have his moment, please.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, I would love to see that happening. So I
Yeah,
feel
I
like that
love
could
how
happen.
you were like very strategic with your choice. I went vibes, purely
Yeah,
vibes.
but that's good. That we're balancing each other's predictions out, like vibes and like trying to mastermind it and then it
Statistics.
be completely wrong. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But also like in F2, especially in the feature race, a lot of things can come down to strategics as well, with the pit stop being there. And
Yeah.
that reminds me of last year, just to like bring in some facts of what has happened in Imola in the past. Actually, last year in Formula 2, um, Oliver Behrman, that felt weird to say his actual name, Ollie Behrman.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year Ollie Behrman led the race and like very comfortably so. Like he could get his premier home race win, but then he makes it to the pit stop and he stalled during the pit stop. Like he couldn't get going for like at least a couple of tries of like getting the car to start again. So he
So
basically
unfortunate.
lost the win in the pit lane.
Which is just
But
like, it's such a feeder series thing.
it really is because not only did that happen during the pit stops, also like two teams had the tires flying off in the pit lane because they didn't secure them enough. So like that also like completely ruined two drivers' races. I actually believe one of them was Pepe Mazzi because that was just his luck.
Yep, that was his luck last year.
Yeah. Hopefully that won't happen this year, Campus. Please do put on the wheel correctly. And I also do believe the other team was it high tech? Yeah, I think it was
I
America
think so.
Deal. Yeah, that just actually really came flying off.
Yeah.
That was horrible. I actually think it hit one of the other pit crews, so hopefully that won't happen again.
No.
But actually, while we are on high tech, I wanted to like put in my left field prediction now because something I actually don't think will happen, but I
Yeah.
did want to talk about because I have seen some rumors about it. There is a question mark about what is going on with high tech and will they even like be allowed to have their cars in Imola? Because director of high tech is Oliver Oakes' brother. I think his name is William Oakes. Obviously has been arrested for doing something illegal, having large amounts of money on him, and things are a mess at high tech right now. Let's just put it that way.
No. So is your prediction they're not going to be able to race?
Yeah, I don't feel like it would happen because I do know that high tech driving in British F4 this weekend,
Mm.
like, and that's not an issue so, as far as I know. But I have
Yeah.
seen some people questioning if they will be allowed to race or if the cars will like be
No, and
like taken
I
away.
mean when that like there was rumors really stressed me
Mm,
out
yeah,
because
same.
Luke Browning, we
Exactly. Like,
can't be having
imagine
that.
if he won't even have his car. Like, imagine.
Exactly, and it's very
Yeah,
much unfair on them,
yeah.
because obviously it's not their driver's fault.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting. You're gonna hate my left field.
No, why do you have the worst field predictions? I don't like this guy.
So I'm going with bad Premier luck as well here. I said
Oh,
I said that both of them will crash out, just like one in the sprint, one in the feature. So not the same race, but or like have a moment in qualifying or something like that.
mm,
Like I'm not feeling the Prema vibes this weekend. They
clearly not.
if they have the OG Prema livery back.
I was just about to say that. You want the OG Premier Livery to crash out. That's what you just said is gonna happen now.
No,
Like,
if she comes back, the luck could
mm,
change. But until I
okay.
see her there,
Mm,
I
yeah.
have no faith apparently.
Apparently not. Honestly, I feel that's so funny that you're just putting a complete curse on them. Hopefully, like, have the
It's all my fault.
reversed, like, yeah, hopefully it will have the reversed effect and, like, it will actually be good because I have a good feeling about Prema this weekend, even though they actually haven't been performing that well. But
The
let's
fact
see.
that Prema is technically my team as well.
Yeah, like, we love Prema. Like, they are, like, our favorite team pretty much. Like, and
They
we do
are.
want you to perform well.
I do, I really do, but I just like I wanted to give a shout.
Yeah, that's fair. Honestly, like it could happen. Or I would thank you for like putting a reversed curse and basically making
Exactly,
them
so it
very
could work the
good.
other way. And
Yeah.
then speaking about crashing out, what are your thoughts on
Yeah.
DNF?
DNFs. I also did check how many DNFs are usually here in
Yeah.
F2. And again, I will also say, if rain comes, I do think there will be more DNFs.
Yeah.
But for some reason, both last year and in 2022, that was the year prior that they raced there, again
Yeah.
because of the cancellation of 2023. As far as I could tell, both those last times they raced there, they had 7 DNFs across the weekend, which is like so random that I had to predict 7 DNFs again this race
Okay.
weekend. Yeah.
That's interesting. I went quite low. I went full
Mm.
because I thought like maybe
Ooh.
2 in each.
Yeah.
Because I feel like depends like if you're doing like sprint or feature race, but F2 has not had too many DNFs. Like some races they've
No.
only had like one person or so crash out. So I was going on the lower side.
Yeah. Actually, like always doing my predictions being pretty much calculated so far. This hasn't been that well calculated because obviously in F3 there are way more drivers, so it's more likely for
Yeah.
to have more DNFs. But I am saying for some reason that there are more DNFs in F2. Maybe I'll need like a big crash into turn 1 or something like we're seeing sometimes. I do believe that happened last year, so like who knows? It can very much happen. And also like I mentioned the rain and maybe more people crashing, because I don't really believe in my own left field prediction of high tech not being able to race.
Yeah.
I will give another out of left field prediction, and that actually is that there will not be a single competitive session where it rains this year because I feel like that's very unlikely to be bad.
Yes. Yeah. Completely.
Yeah. Mm. And yeah, only the weather gods will know and be able to decide this.
It's all up to the
Um,
universe.
it really is. But I hope that is more true than my high-tech one, because the high-tech one is very messy, and I don't believe it will. I actually don't know what consequences it will have that the director is literally arrested for illegal things. And also just it's so messy with the whole
Yeah.
like the Mazepins being involved. Uh, Maybe like that's not official, but
There is never a dull day in feeder series. Never.
there really isn't. There really isn't. Also because for those who don't know, high tech did used to be kind of sponsored or having like a partnership with Kali, that's like the Mazepin family's thing
Yeah.
company. So is definitely a connection between them, and it could be likely that some illegal activity has been going on, and hopefully it won't affect the drivers at high tech. Because that would be so unfair to drivers, obviously, and the team
Very
in
much.
general.
Yeah. I guess we will just have to wait and see in a couple
Yeah.
days if any of these predictions come true.
Yeah, honestly, like if just one prediction comes true, like that will be a win
I
because
know, just
everything
one
is
of us.
so unpredictable.
Just one
Yeah.
of our predictions.
Yeah. And like if one of us really killed this, we could like be psychic. Like
Honestly, then we need to be like, I don't know, employed by somebody to predict.
yeah, we should, but that remains to be seen. And I'm sure we'll get a great race weekend in Imola, and honestly, I can't wait for it. And I also can't wait to review everything after the weekend.
Yes, obviously we will be continuing with our normal. If you're new here, we do recaps after every single feeder series weekend of F2, F3, and F1 Academy at the moment. We may still branch out into other things, but right now it's all we can really handle at the moment because
Yeah.
this is our passion project. We also do, like, I have a full-time job, you're in university, so like.
Yeah. So it does get a lot to like keep up with everything.
Does, but we're so happy to do it. We love it.
Yeah.
So please, if you're watching this, stick around. We're having so much content coming out all the time on our TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. We're everywhere pretty much at Road to Glory. Something, some version of it. It'll be linked wherever you're watching this.
Yeah, make sure to find us and follow us if you don't already, because we will get a lot of great content out there. And honestly, it's not far away now that we are going to Silverstone and actually gonna be at the racetrack. So like getting amazing content out of that.
And we're gonna be
hopefully,
in
too.
person together.
Yeah, for the first time. Literally, like
No,
it will be crazy.
that sounds so crazy.
It really does. Like no, just casually like buying Lando stand tickets together for Silverstone without having met each other, and then also creating a whole podcast together without meeting each other.
This is Twitter's fault / X's fault.
Yeah, it actually is, and I'm very happy about it. Like I'm not mad about that at all. Yeah.
So yeah, we've got lots of exciting stuff coming up in the future. So stick around for that. The next episode that we record, my background may be a little bit different because I am going back to South Africa for a month, which is where I'm from. But the content will not stop. So it's
No.
okay.
We'll still be getting content out from wherever we are in the world. I'll very much still be in the same place, but you'll literally like
I'll just be a little further away.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, thank you so much for everybody that listened or watched this. We'll see you next week, hopefully.
Bye.
Bye.